Hi, welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. And I was going to read y'all some Edgar Allan Poe, but everyone that I started had me yawning, or it just turned into it was listed as fiction, but really it was just a morbid or, very fanciful nature essay. 'Cause I had a couple of mine for you that I wanted to read, but they are very long. So I'm going to have to go through my tales a little bit more and pick some out for you. But today, my little man is going to help me do a little book haul for you. So, are we safe? We don't need guard duty? Yeah. Mwah. So you got a cute little visitor, and I've got some cool books, and apparently he really likes my sweatshirt because it's Hocus Pocus, which, yay! I don't know about y'all, but I love Hocus Pocus. I watched it when I was little and was a witch for several years afterwards. Depending on who you ask, I'm still a witch, but not always with the W. That's okay. I'm definitely Winnie. Another glorious morning makes me sick. Because it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. Yes, it is. So I've got a very small book haul for you today that some of them kind of fit the theme. I've got another Ravenloft book for you, Knight of the Black Rose. This one is by James Lauder. And this is one of those series where it's kind of weird because it's based off of an area of D&D, which I never played, like, the pen and paper game. There's Neverwinter that I enjoyed for a few years, and then they've changed it so much that I only log on to see if some of the people I used to play with are on. But it's, I think, like a 30-ish book series, and they're written by different authors. The first one was written by Christy Gold, and I told y'all about that a few months ago, and I really liked it. We had our little elven frenemy thing going on with the vampire in Ravenloft, so that one ended on an awesome cliffhanger-ish, so I finally found the sequel. And it's even in the same style of, as far as the cover goes, because they've apparently done a couple reprints. This is a book from the 90s, so I wanted one of the cool-looking ones, and they were very hard to track down. So I think this book was published in, let's see if I can find out, while he helps me out here. 1991. So this is quite an old book. And this is, on the fabled world of Krynn, Lord Soth finally learns that there is a price to pay for his long history of evil deeds. A price even an undead warrior might find horrifying. Dark powers transport Soth to Barovia, which is where, the Ravenloft campaign is. And there the Death Knight must face the dread minions of Count Strahd von Zarovich, the vampire lord of the Nightmare Land. But with only a captive Vistani woman and an untrustworthy ghost for allies, Lord Soth soon discovers that he may have to join forces with the powerful vampire if he is ever to escape the realm of terror. So, I'm really looking forward to this. Like, I've got a couple, books on my Kindle, and of course I have my TBR bookcase, and I'm currently reading The Bound Witch, which is the third book in the Ivy Asher trilogy, which I'm hoping it turns out to be more than a trilogy, but we'll see. Right now it's the final book in that Bone Witch series, as well as I've got Tim Dorsey going, and I am loving both of those. One is very spicy, and the Tim Dorsey one is just, it's freaking funny. He has recently gotten into it with a pair of, stuck-up entitled frat boys is where I left off, so I am definitely looking forward to finishing that one, and then I might have to jump into this. Another one, this is also another sequel of a book I told y'all about. This is Kingsbane by Claire Legrand, and as you can see, this one is going to take me a minute. The first book we left off with, it's two women in very different times that are somehow connected, like that we've got two queens. One is of the sun, and she's like their savior, and the other is pure evil, destruction, and we think we know which one is which, but it's a matter of how did they go from being this everybody loves her, she's all powerful, she's good, to she's gonna destroy us all, and the angels are actually the bad guys, which, that alone, I love it. I mean, we always think angels are, they're holy and they're bright and they're, good and they save you. No, in this case, oh crap, we have to trap the angels because they're going to destroy the world. They're like, what most people think demons are the angels in this series. So we're kind of picking up where that left off with, we've got the assassin that is having to come to terms with some of the people and the realities of what she has done in an attempt to keep her family alive, and figuring out exactly how the Sun Queen, fell from grace. So this is a 3-part series. This is the second one. So I will definitely be getting to this one. If you want to know about the rest of the series, I said I read the first one probably back in like February. I will link the review for that in here, if the description, if y'all would like. This is book 2 of the Imperium trilogy. So that is, I will be attempting to get to it, but this is, let's see, oh my goodness, 612 pages, though, to be fair. I mean, that is the font. It's not huge, but it ain't tiny either, so. Well, might take a couple weeks, but we'll get through it. And this is one I'm super excited about. I pre-ordered this back in February, and the day it was supposed to arrive at my house, I got an email going, yeah, that's not arriving because we actually didn't print that book, but would you like to pay 50% more than you pre-ordered for, the version we already have, which is the hardback. I want it, but not for hardback price. That's why I pre-ordered the paperback. And there is no paperback version, but it finally went on sale for a good price, and yay! The Little Mermaid version of Twisted Tales. I've read, as many as I can get my hands on. I started out with Aladdin. I reviewed that one for y'all, as well as the one for Mulan. A couple of these, I think there's also the Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella. It's one of the originals. Very 1950s early Disney princesses, has a Disney tale that's part of this series that's on Kindle Unlimited, but this one was not, and I love The Little Mermaid. So I really wish they'd do a Brave one, and then I would be set. Got my Mulan, got my Ariel. So this one is part of your world. And it's basically, their twist on this is, what if Ariel never defeated Ursula? So, I cannot wait. I will be tearing through this very quickly because, it's a Disney book. It's not the most in-depth, hard to read. But it is, let's see here. This is 475 pages, but, that's some pretty big font we've got going there. And it's not your usual ginormous sized hardback. So, dude, how awesome is that cover? It's Disney, it's Little Mermaid, but it's twisted. That's checking all the boxes for me. So, I totally cannot wait. And then this is something, it's a novel, but not really. It's a collection of short stories by James Rollins. And I had to have this just basically because I've got most of his short stories on Kindle already. as a lot of them are, well, this book is coming out, so here's a little short story until it comes out, and I have to have the hardback if I can get it, because I need my James Rollins. So I have to buy the short stories on Kindle because they're not published until they're in the back of the first paperback usually. So this has them all, as well as a couple that I actually haven't read. So I'm super excited. I will be, skimming through this and finding the ones that I haven't read yet. And it'll be nice to revisit the ones that I have already read several times on Kindle. So it doesn't really count as a new book, but I'm still going to read it. And if y'all want, I will tell y'all about some of the short stories in this, because if you like James Rollins, it's definitely worth getting, especially they finally put it on sale, because I love him, but I've already bought most everything in here, so 28 bucks to buy books that I already have was a bit steep, but it was, I think they finally put it on sale for like 11, and I snatched it up. Sometimes the power goes out, my phone dies. Gotta have something. So that's all I've got for you right now. I have a couple other books that are coming up that I really have to get my hands on. Actually one from him that came out earlier this year, but again, the hardback was a little out of my range, so I'm waiting on the paperback, as well as a Kim Harrison novel. I wish I could say there's another Christopher Moore this year, but cross your fingers. He's on vacation right now, and usually when he goes out of the country, it's, where he goes becomes a setting for new books, so I'm hoping that he's researching a new awesome novel right now. So maybe this will give y'all something to read, some series to get into. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Bye! Happy reading!